Wichita State and Rice for a specific reason, because they both had iconic coaches. They both had a really national footprint during those coaches' tenures, and both of them have really done nothing since those two coaches have left. So I'm going to start off with Wichita State first. They had one of the best, maybe one of the best, if not the best, college coach of all time, Gene Stevenson, who won 1,798 games. That's a 735 winning percentage. And he had 7 World Series appearances. He was the runner-up 3 times, and the Shockers actually won the title in 1989. And then he was fired in 2013. And since then, they just haven't been able to do anything. And now they have Brian Green is in charge now. He's in year 3. And this team, I was going to write down what players they lost. That's what I'm doing for all the teams, who they lost. I didn't do that with Wichita State because they lost everybody, literally everybody. They have 7 players returning. The only player on offense at all that contributed was Jaden Gustafson, who did start 43 games and batted .303, had 9 doubles, 3 home runs, 3 triples. But other than him, every other player in the top 12 batting-wise is gone. And on the pitching side, they had Nick Potter was drafted by the Astros, I think in round 5. And everybody else left. The only pitcher that they have returning is Brady Hamilton, who had 16 starts but was 2-7 with a 5.38 ERA, and Carson Richard, who had 24 appearances with a 9 ERA, 16 innings pitched, 16 earned runs, 24 walks. So those two, if that's what they have left, I hope some of their incoming pitchers are pretty good, because that's not going to get it done. I mean, they don't even have a candidate for a Friday or Saturday night starter. And before I get into pitching, I will say that they also lost hitting-wise. Josh Livingston went to Texas, infielder, and Camden Johnson went to Oklahoma. Those were their 2 best hitters. And pitching-wise, what they do have is kind of interesting. They have, as a freshman, one of the I guess he actually was voted the American Conference Freshman Pitcher of the Year by D1 Baseball, and that's Ethan Rogers. They're even saying he could be the Sunday starter. So he's a true freshman, and that's the only high school guy that's going to contribute. Everybody else is junior college, and they were ranked as the 12th ranked junior college incoming class. They have 4 junior college All-Americans coming in. And I'll be honest with you, it's just so many players. I have no idea which one of them is going to be contributing any more than any others, but I'll give it a shot. I'll just pick a few batters and a few pitchers. On the offensive side, I mean, they have some interesting stuff going on here. MJ Sweeney, first base infielder. He's from Grossmont College. He's their all-time home run leader. 777 games, 324 batting average, 25 doubles, 4 triples, and 25 home runs. And he's got baseball is in his family lineage, as his dad, Mike Sweeney Sr., was a 5-time All-Star and played 16 years in the major leagues. He was an All-Star with the Royals 5 times, and his grandfather played in the Angel system. So he's got, good baseball genes there. And those numbers, I know it's Grossmont College, but those numbers, maybe if you can come close to matching them, that might give the Shockers something in the middle of the lineup that they can count on. And then they have a catcher, Max Coffer, who is a senior. He's had 54 starts at South Carolina and Texas A&M. When he was a freshman at Texas A&M, he was the youngest player in baseball at 17. And also in his freshman year, he had back-to-back 3 RBI games, one of them in the SEC championship game against Vandy, and the other one against Cal State Fullerton in the Stanford Regional. So he's seasoned. He's supposed to be an excellent defensive catcher, and those 3 years combined, his batting average is below 200. So, there's a lot of other JC catchers coming in. I don't know if he's going to be the guy, but his experience is interesting. And then they have a shortstop from Florida International, Alex Ulloa, and he started all 115 games at FIU and had a 301 batting average, 18 home runs, and 79 RBI. So that's consistency. And he's also an excellent defensive shortstop. So, they have some pieces to build around. But other than that, man, it's anybody's guess. I actually tried to put together a lineup, and I just said, this is impossible. It's just no way of knowing. So, as far as the shockers go this season, I feel like, if the JC players come together, maybe they'll be mid-pack, maybe. I don't see them ever, being at the top. But they could also finish at the bottom if they don't get this right. But for Brian Green, like in his second season in 2024, he only inherited 3 players. That's it. So he had pretty much the same situation. And they made it to the American Conference Finals before they lost to Tulane in the championship game, 11-10. So they were like 1 run or 2 runs away from making the NCAA tournament. And that was with 3 returning players. So now, he has a little bit more, not much. So we'll see if he can pull a rabbit out of his hat again. But I think this is a work in progress, in my opinion. I don't want to drag this on, but I didn't mention Wichita State's schedule, and it's very unusual, and it's worth mentioning. So we can just back up for 1 second. They open the season with 5 4-game series. All of them include a doubleheader on Saturday. It's either a Thursday, Friday, doubleheader Saturday, or it's a Friday, doubleheader Saturday, Sunday. They're at Hawaii, and then they have 4 at home. And I just feel like, you don't see that these days too often. But they're doing it to start the season. 5 4-game series. And one more quick thing, in case there's anybody out there that's tuning in just to listen to what Wichita State has for next season, I didn't mention the pitching, and I'll just take 30 seconds. They do have 4 JC pitchers that are coming in that are very interesting. Caleb Reed, he's coming in from a community college, 13 starts, 9-0, 2.16 ERA, 72 strikeouts in 61 innings, and 3 complete game shutouts. So, man, if he can duplicate that, they got something. And then they also have somebody from Blinn College that was 11-3. They got a pitcher, Dax Sharp, that also had a complete game shutout and 2 complete games. And then they got a right-handed pitcher from Wagner that should be able to contribute. So I apologize, I didn't put that in earlier, but I just wanted to cover that real quick before we move on.
Yeah, interesting. So we have pitchers these days that can do 3 complete games in a season. That's a feat.